Hi, Katia Woods, Cup of Soul Show. Hi, guys.
Hey.
All right, I have to ask. We so fell in love with season one, and we were like, and we haven't had that magic. Did you feel going into it? Because it is real life, but people fell in love with a particular couple, and they're still doing great. Did you feel that was part of the pressure of having to find love in your case to live up to those expectations? Let's start with you, Bartise.
No, I didn't. So I think a couple of the guys sitting here, I didn't even watch season one. I watched the pod episode, so I didn't know the stories. I didn't know the pressure. I didn't know like the outcome from season one going through my experiment. So I didn't really feel any sort of pressure. If anything, I felt the least amount of pressure because I was the youngest male contestant. I was like, if I come out of here, empty-handed, it's not the end of the world. Like I felt no pressure.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, and I didn't watch the show either, to be honest with you. I didn't know what it was when they reached out to me. That being said, no, my whole goal going in there was to find my person, and there was no other influences that helped dictate that. That was my goal, and that's what I stuck to. It was strictly opening up and trying to find somebody.
I watched the show. I was a big fan just because watching two couples like that fall in love and have that kind of magic. It didn't seem like any other show that was on any streaming service, anything. And that's what I fell in love with. And that's what I was hopeful to find. I think I was the most skeptical one that had arrived on if it was even possible, because it seems crazy, the concept. But definitely found her and fell in love. So I don't know. No pressure. I just always be yourself. So I didn't feel pressure from anything else previously. Just trying to live my own life.
Do you also think, like, I met my mate pre-internet? Do you feel like the internet has made it harder to find your match or just to date? Because it's like, it seems like you have to go through a super superficial stage before you get to the real person, before you feel comfortable. What say you, Brennon? Do you think the internet has made that harder?
The internet's definitely like convoluted everything, right? Like there's so much information. I do think that it's good because you can kind of find your section of like what you're looking for, I guess. But in that aspect, you don't necessarily always know what you're looking for. So you might be trying to find something and really you need something else. So I think that's kind of what trying to compartmentalize the internet and all these forums and stuff can be difficult. That's a little bit what I kind of ran into, and just coming out here, it pushed all that distraction, everything aside. So it was perfect.
Matt, what about you? This is your second chance at love. I mean, it's one thing to do it just in general life, but you did it on TV. Did you just lean into the process and say, you know what? Let me just try this because the traditional way didn't work out. Let me give this a whirl. Was that your thought process?
To an extent, but also my thought process was, I wasn't really dating after my past relationship because I would go on a couple of dates and I would just like shut down. I just wouldn't have interest, I guess. So what this show did for me was really allow me to be forced to open up and really become vulnerable and really kind of talk about my feelings a little more than I would in the actual world. So that's really what it did for me, was just allow me to open up again. Before the show, I wasn't really doing that in small little relationships I would have, but coming into this, it forced me to, if I really wanted to get the full experience of it.
And Bartise, what have you learned about yourself in this process, if you had to describe it in one word?
Oof.
Is that the word?
Can I get two words?
Okay, let's do two.
Brutally honest, and ashamed to say so.
Absolutely. Well, guys, I think it's going to be interesting to see when the rest of the world gets to see everything you went through. And those of you that get married and are happily married, the best of luck. It is a marathon, not a sprint. Remember that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.